So why do y'all think we have all these distractions going on right now? Like randomly, Andrew Tate getting arrested and extradited to the UK after being free for all this time? Kind of weird. And then just yesterday, 2 days ago, we had one of those Paul brothers getting smacked, right? Oh yeah, that was totally legit as well. But what else is going on just right now? Who really knows? But completely 1000% unrelated, happening just right now. Again, unrelated from that one thing. Of course, we still have more videos every single day of all these people taking down these flock cameras. Like I said the very first time, what the flock is actually going on. But let me tell you something. Trust me when I say, flock is the least of your worries. If you don't think in the next few years there will be drones surveilling everybody in the sky where people cannot get them down, then you are mistaken. I see it now. Everywhere in the sky. It is coming. Mark my words. As for me, I'll be sailing the Caribbeans with my new hat.
Scientists just found out that back whenever COVID happened, the atmosphere literally lost its ability to break down one of the most dangerous gases on Earth. Dude, this is insane. Obviously, during the pandemic lockdowns, cars stopped running, factories shut down, and nitrogen oxide emissions dropped by 15 to 20% worldwide. That obviously initially sounded like a major win for the planet in the beginning, but it wasn't apparently. Scientists just discovered that those nitrogen oxides actually help create something that's called hydroxyl radicals, which is the atmosphere's natural cleaning system. They're saying that that is actually what's responsible for breaking down methane, but whenever they disappeared during COVID, methane had nothing to stop it. They're saying that between the years 2019 and 2023, atmospheric methane hit record highs, and it was the fastest growth in 2021. They were able to find that the levels actually returned back to normal once the world started back up again, but the fact that something this massive was hiding as a side effect because of the lockdowns is obviously insane. This literally means that the atmosphere stopped cleaning itself because we stopped polluting gas. Hell,
there's a new Mandela effect and has to do with the Energizer Buddy. I remember watching this guy on commercials saying his power will never go away because he uses the Energizer battery. That's why he'll last forever and ever. I also remember the battery pack being on his back, but it turns out it's on his frickin' leg. When did the battery pack end up on his leg? What do you guys remember? I remember this thing had the batteries on its back, not sticking out of its leg. What universe did I come from and which one did I come to? Shabadoo Booski.
Because of the HIV virus that I have attained, I will have to retire from the Lakers today.
This would end up being one of the biggest media moments in the history of the United States of America. What? So Magic had just lost to the Bulls in the summer of 1991. So no one really expected anything. They just expected him to come back the next year. They compete for another title. Well, in October of 91, he was actually doing life insurance policy. Well, to get that life insurance policy, he had to get like a routine physical, which came with blood work. Okay. Well, on October 25th, while they were at practice for a game they had in Salt Lake City, Magic gets a call from the team doctor. He says, "Hey Magic, I need you to sit down. Your blood work came back, you HIV positive." Obviously that terrifies Magic because HIV in the 90s was a death sentence. That's what it was portrayed as. So over the next couple of weeks, it was decided between Magic and the team that they would keep this super tight-knit just amongst a very small amount of people, like the owner and the head coach and Magic. That was pretty much it, those three people.
So no one knew.
So they wanted to get a second test to make sure that he was actually HIV positive. So on November 6th, Magic got the call that he absolutely dreaded, which was that the second test came back positive too. Plan became for them to give him 24 hours so he could call his closest friends and family, let them know what's going on. The next day, he would have a press conference where he would announce his retirement from the Lakers, tell everybody what happened. Everybody knew Magic was a humongous star at this point. They all knew what this would become, but they had to keep it on wraps for 24 hours. By early morning the next day, there had been buzzes all around Los Angeles. Something's going on. Magic is retiring today. They called a fast press conference, so Magic was able to get it out himself. He didn't want someone else to leak it. He wanted to be the one to do it. He made this press conference. It's reported that even his teammates didn't know what was going on. One of the biggest stars in the world had one of the biggest diseases in the history of this planet. Everybody thought Magic's gonna be dead in a year because that's what happened almost always when people were diagnosed with this disease. But somehow Magic beat the odds, but this became one of the absolute craziest biggest moments in the history of this country.
This man went viral denying he was a certain somebody. He had DNA tests, and now he's got the audacity to sit there on his own page eating a slice of pizza. Keep watching. So if you don't know the backstory, this guy goes viral earlier this year. Someone films him down the motorway and starts screaming a certain name. He looks exactly like him, and he's said everything to shut it down. He said he'd take a DNA test, made a whole new social media handle, even announced that he's running for mayor. A whole campaign built on, I am not this man. So you think he'd want to distance himself, right? Just watch what he does instead.
Back in the day, we had a lot of fun. These parties were insane.
We made a lot of money.
All the celebrities were there. Everyone.
And you sit on your own profile and eat a slice of pizza, showing what your life used to be like. Man, this has stirred up some debates online. Let me know your thoughts and comments.
The Republican Party was created by anti-slavery activists.
All of the civil rights legislation that was pro-black people came from the Republicans.
Black
Facts.
Wall Street was all Republicans.
Facts.
And then think about this. We have Malcolm X and we have MLK. Both killed, got assassinated, but only one has a holiday. Why is it that?
Yeah, because shit, he was a communist. Listen, I know the truth. And once you realize that, okay, everything boils down to these little secret organizations. They put their puppets in, and when that puppets run its course, they martyr them, make him a national hero, sweep it under the rug, and now you trap that ideology with this group of people, leave them stagnant while you go to your next process. It's the same thing we watch it happen over and over and over. It's just that now it's people like us.
The CIA was asked about one of the most famous UFO cases in history, and their answer wasn't yes, but their answer wasn't no. It was something much more interesting, and it's known as the Glomar response. Just on July 8th, Congressman Eric Burleson sent formal letters to both the CIA and the FBI requesting records related to the 1996 Varginha incident in Brazil. He requested records that cover a specific 2-week window in January of 96. Years before Burleson's recent letter, someone else actually filed a FOIA request, and they asked the CIA specifically about records connected to this case. The agency didn't say the records exist, and they didn't say that they didn't exist. Instead, they used the Glomar response, saying that they could neither confirm nor deny whether these records exist, citing national security exemptions. A Glomar response is not evidence that the Varginha incident happened, but it's not proof the CIA has UFO records either. It is a legal mechanism that agencies tend to use when acknowledging the existence or non-existence of records that could itself reveal protected information. But if you read between the lines, you don't cite classified national security exemptions for records that definitely don't exist, right? Again, not confirmation, it's not proof, but there is an open question from a sitting congressman with an official paper trail. These responses are still pending. These are public. I will put a link below to where you can find these. We'll see what happens.
Jared Leto's portrayal of the Joker is a very controversial topic. People did not really vibe with the whole gangster Joker thing. Actually, most people did not vibe with the whole Suicide Squad movie. I can't say the other one, or TikTok will take this down for some reason. Here's where the curse comes in. Jared Leto does this thing called method acting, and Heath Ledger did this too. It's kind of just where you live your character. But he sent his castmates some disgusting gift. He mailed Margot Robbie a dead mouse. He sent Will Smith a pack of bullets and sent the rest of his castmates a dead pig. His cast members said they never met him. They only met the Joker. When he was researching, he was looking at a lot of extreme violence and said it was really getting to him and putting him in a dark, dark place. He said he didn't like what it was doing to him, so he stopped. He'd done a lot of dark films, but he said it had never impacted him the way this impacted him. Next, we're gonna cover Joaquin Phoenix. Hit the plus and follow my Instagram and YouTube.
There is a theory that dinosaurs, this is not coming from me by the way, this is just a theory, that dinosaurs are fake And they are actually covering up the fact that there used to be giants and dragons. I know it sounds crazy, but the theory is, and I'll let Jared dive in deeper, if you look at dinosaur bones and you look at how they were found and you look at how they created these dinosaurs, it almost looks like the bones of dragons mixed with giants.
Giants?
And then they got rid of the wings.
Oh, I hope dragons were real. That'd be so cool.
So Jared, we'll show some pictures and some images. So, Jared, can you break this down? Because I'm scared.
So this has been something that's been heavy on my mind for years now. But the story that we're told is that dinosaurs went extinct like 65 million years ago from some cataclysmic event. But dinosaurs themselves, a lot of people don't know this, the term wasn't even coined until like 1840. Because this huge bone was found, and there was these two paleontologists who decided, this looks like it could have maybe belonged to like a big lizard or something.
Sometimes we go through these turmoils, and God puts us through these turmoils to build our character so we can help. That's almost like a human soldier. You've been in battle. You're in a serious battle. You're a veteran of human battling. And then you go through it, and now you survived. So you got some serious kingdom love your way if they still have you here. And for all you don't know what your calling is. Your calling may be to prevent others or to help the ones that are willing to listen.
Why is the confetti already blue for the World Cup? Can someone explain this one? Before the game has even taken place, there's already blue confetti, and we all know whose color is mainly blue. Yeah, Argentina's color is mainly blue. Now, am I saying that Argentina is for sure going to beat Spain in the finals? No, I'm not saying that. But you have to admit that it's very bizarre how the confetti is already the color blue. But maybe there is nothing to this at all. But regardless, the 2026 World Cup is definitely scripted just like the WWE. And again, I'm not saying anything one way or the other on who is going to win the 2026 World Cup finals. I'm not. But you have to admit, it's very strange how the confetti is already the color blue. So I don't know what's going on, but regardless, the World Cup is definitely scripted. What do you think?
Okay, so this dude's house is fucking haunted. So a few years ago, this guy who went by the name of Dude My House is Haunted, whose channel is no longer up, uploaded some creepy as fuck videos about the things that were happening inside his house.
I wasn't even moving.
At first he thought it was his wife's spirit that was haunting the house, but that wasn't the case.
I didn't know how I'd react if this thing started touching me. It started walking towards me. And I feel my hand on my back. It terrified me. I froze. I don't know if my wife is in there, but his people seem stuck. They were all saying, help me.
Because after this particular incident, he wasn't so sure anymore and that it might be, in fact, multiple spirits trapped near the attic area of the house.
somebody's resting behind me. Holy fuck. That was somebody right behind me. It felt like their face was right here. Like they were really tall. I was frozen. I couldn't move. Oh. That's not my wife. And that's not Miss Walker. That like somebody really tall.
How fucking crazy is that? If you have headphones, pop them in, because I think that is more than one spirit saying help. Yeah, so there are no more updates. This guy's channel isn't out anymore. Believe me, I've checked. So what do you guys think? I mean, imagine that. Imagine being in your hallway, feeling a cold chill creep up on you, and hearing multiple voices. I mean, I think those were multiple voices. I could be wrong, but imagine asking for help, saying, help me. Yeah, I'd shit a brick. I'd shit something. Something would come out. Because that shit was scary as fuck.
The NBA is absolutely scripted. This is Trae Young, and look how he is playing a character, trying to rip up a Jalen Brunson jersey. I mean, there's a reason that he's coming out to a WWE entrance, a Rey Mysterio entrance at that. He's telling you that he is a character on and off the court. These players are nothing but actors, and the same goes for the NFL, MLB, and the list goes on. All of these players are nothing but actors. They are WWE characters. That's what this all boils down to. They aren't real people for the most part. They are fake. They are actors getting paid all of this money to put on a show. It is scripted entertainment. That's all that this is. People need to wake up and realize what exactly is going on. They are telling you every single time. This is why he's coming out to this WWE entrance.
Do you want to know what's insane about all of these fires? Well, one, do you know just a few hours ago, they caught this old guy going around and just randomly setting fires? I'm sure it's completely unrelated from all the fires going on. Also, I kind of want to know, who are his connections, if you get what I'm saying? Another thing that's really odd about these fires, people all the way in Virginia, all the way up north, Canada, and everywhere else, are saying that for some reason, this fire does not smell like, trees, greenery, wood. No, they're smelling weird chemical smells, plastic, a whole bunch of weird stuff that you wouldn't really smell. Oh, and by the way, that thing you saw at the beginning of the video, that's in New York. What does that look like, this thing right behind me? What does that look like to you? I don't know, guys. The sleepy people, they will swear up and down everything's normal. This is always normal. But I've been alive like maybe 32 years at this point, right? And never do I remember, besides the last few years, things catching on fire this bad all the time, years in a row. But yeah, call me crazy.
Here we go once again in New York City. And why do I say that? Because New York, once again, is completely underwater. And that's basically all 5 boroughs. New York City experienced some heavy rain, torrential downpours, and streets, subways, and sidewalks were completely underwater. Have a look at some of these crazy videos for yourself. Have a look at this right outside this location. That was a sidewalk right there. It is now a complete river. Just unbelievable. Look at this. Just unbelievable. Check this out right here. Look at the drain. It's like a whirlpool. You can literally get sucked down there and disappear. Look at the streets. This is incredible. What the heck is happening in New York City? Have a look at the radar for yourself from earlier in the day. These are the storms that pushed through the tri-state area causing all of that flooding. And just to put New York City's weather into perspective for you, we've had heat wave after heat wave. Canadian wildfire smoke that came in. Now today, torrential downpours causing massive and major flooding all across the 5 boroughs. And for those of us that were born and raised here in the city of New York, it is getting worse and worse by the rainstorm. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. And as always, I'd love to hear
from 1998 to 2012, the Jewish Ethiopian women who were transferred from Ethiopia to Israel, they were giving, without their knowledge, contraceptive shots to prevent them from reproducing.
In 2013, the Israeli health ministry implicitly acknowledged and apologized for the coercive administration of long-acting contraceptive injections Depo-Provera to Ethiopian Jewish women. The ministry directed all gynecologists to stop her. Wow, that's actually all right.
Donald Trump just gave an address to the nation that was filled and riddled with lies. I watched it so that you didn't have to. Here's what you need to know. The president accused China of conducting a mass operation to interfere with America's elections. But here's the kicker. It all happened in 2020 under President Trump's watch. He says his administration allegedly found burn bags all the way from the Barack Obama administration without providing evidence. He called on the Director of National Intelligence, the Justice Department, and more to prosecute anyone involved in this cover-up. He said that China worked overtime in 2019 to undermine confidence in the U.S. president, the U.S. president being him. He alleged dead people were on active voter rolls. He attacked voting machines in the United States of America, calling them vulnerable. Through all of this, the president did not back up his claims, and in fact repeated many of the same lies that he has repeated time and time again after what happened in 2020. Tonight's speech is setting the stage for an effort to undermine November's 2026 election results, and the people need to know that. That's what this was about. Spread the word.
First time Thea has faced troubling allegations. Last year, security researchers found that Thea was logging users' web browsing history, including snapshots showing the content of pages visited, according to a Fortune report. This included sensitive data such as bank statements and private email accounts, which were transmitted back to Thea's servers that I am sure guys like Peter Thiel have no use for this whatsoever, right? They don't have any interest in what we do, where we're going, our privacy, where our money is, that is all online, and it's just Faradist.
We're gonna go over the cyclospora.
Explosive diarrhea.
Explosive diarrhea is crazy.
That's crazy.
It's weird because they're pushing it really hard. Anytime they push something really hard, it's something else behind it. So
technically, you don't have to push really hard with explosive diarrhea.
Apparently not.
I guess not. They're saying that it comes out watery and
I hope you guys aren't eating.
You guys are gonna ruin my coffee.
They said the cyclospora is a parasite, and they're saying that you can get it from produce, you can get it from a multitude of different ways. They're saying if you eat Taco Bell.
I mean, that's a given.
It's Taco Bell.
Right.
That's what I said. Okay.
That's been a joke since the 90s.
Facts.
I don't understand.
If you're eating Taco Bell, you don't have to worry about some parasite. I'll be more worried about what's actually in the food because their beef is only 30% beef.
I don't even think it's that.
That's what they said. The last reports say their beef is only 30%.
How is that passing a food administration? How's that passing anything?
Exactly.
I don't get it. If it's not beef, the fuck is it?
I don't know. I'll pull this up. This is what's been going on.
Where's
Health
that
officials investigate Taco Bell in a role of the largest U.S. outbreak of illness causing explosive diarrhea.
Explosive?
So
why would they use that word explosive?
West Coast shit.
West Coast shit. Explosive.
Man, hope you guys aren't eating.
And if you are, hope it's not Taco Bell.
Facts.
Yeah.
Somebody's watching and eating Taco Bell right now.
If you're watching us and eating Taco Bell, you must be new here. You heard about Chuck Schumer letting it rip on live TV?
Yeah, he farted at Congress.
Ew.
That's what I'm saying. This shit's getting out of hand.
Yeah.
Or out of ass.
Yeah.
Out of ass.
Now on Iran and the NDAA. The American people need to know, of course, how and why this chaos. Now on Iran and the NDAA. When all the Trump...
They got him.
I can't.
This shit is getting out of hand.
He sharded.
It's in your gut.
95% of your lymphatic system and lacteals and what you will call lymph nodes are in the gut. The biggest lymph node, which is nothing but a chamber that cleanses and break down metabolic wastes in your gut, is called the cisterna cali. Whenever the gut get backed up and gets stagnated, it causes the bowels to prolapse, and it causes the lack of blood flow to the gut. The lack of blood flow to the gut means the lack of blood flow to the brain. It's called the gut-brain axis. Depending on the bacteria that you have in the gut, depends on everything. If you have too much Candida albicans in the gut, this leads you to get high fungus. Then you get fungus on the brain. Once you get fungus on the brain, you start building up what you will call amyloid plaque protein. Amyloid plaque protein causes Alzheimer's disease, causes dementia, causes all types of neurological diseases, all stimulated from the gut. In order to cleanse what you'll call the lymphatic system, the glymphatic system, which drains the brain, you have to cleanse the glymphatic system because it's all pressurized. So the funding building blocks of your gut is your whole body. When you're born in embryology, which is one of my favorite subjects in school, when you study embryology, it talks about these different cells. The first thing that's formed in embryology is called the primitive gut tube. Out of the primitive gut tube, every other organ comes from.
That's not new. Michael Jordan wasn't human. Wasn't human.
Why would Kevin Garnett say that about Michael Jordan, saying that he wasn't human? And again, there's a lot of weird things surrounding Michael Jordan. Case in point, the arm stretching video. And he's not the only person that has said something bizarre about Michael Jordan. LeBron James has even said something bizarre about Michael Jordan before.
And I didn't know he was going to be there. But I seen him walking towards me, and it was kind of like he was walking on air. I was...
So you tell me what is going on. Maybe this explains why Michael Jordan was so good when he played basketball. Why he seemed so unstoppable when he played basketball. Maybe there was something more going on. Maybe, just maybe. Or maybe there is nothing to any of this at all. Because obviously, Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time in basketball.
They found a creepy game at a house party, so they turned it on. Big mistake.
Ask it a question, ask it a question. Is my shirt black? Dude, oh!
For some reason, the friends decided to hang out in the host's little sister's bedroom on the second floor and started messing with her toys. One was a memory game, but it stopped working normally and started responding to questions.
This thing is possessed, man. This thing is possessed. All right, okay. Ask me a question. Ask me a question.
What color is the sky? Wait. I guess I need to ask yes or no. Is the sky blue?
No! Dude, no.
Like on the green button or something.
That's good. No.
Am I a girl?
You're a girl.
Oh!
Okay, so it knows.
Dude, it knows. Dude,
So
this thing's it's like one of those Ouija boards, dude. Yeah, like, it knows. Oh.
My mom played.
Then they noticed a drawing showing a terrifying black entity standing behind the girl. So they asked the game if it was present in the room.
Oh, dude, the picture, dude. The picture.
She drew that?
Yeah, dude.
Dude, this will actually like tell.
Okay. Spirit, are you with us in this room?
Nothing. No.
Okay.
It's not gonna work. Put like 2 fingers on it or something.
Oh, dude! Oh my gosh, that's so creepy. That is so creepy, dude.
Okay, is this find that thing?
Dude, it's just on the floor, man.
Yo, are we actually haunted right now?
Dude, I'm like actually kind of scared, dude.
We'll probably
Dude, like, what even is that?
We should put that down.
Like that?
Or just
Okay. All right, well let's get real crazy.
I'm leaving.
Did you guys hear from there? What?
The
window? It came from right here, yeah?
Yeah,
you guys hear that? We're on the second floor.
Oh, okay, alright.
Since this entity is in the room with them knocking on the second floor window, just what will it do?
Their DNA only go back 7,000 years. They showed up in a certain area in the Caucasus Mountains. The alleles in their skin that make their pigment was never on this planet. They DNA, Google this right now. White human DNA goes back how many years? And it's not suspicious to nobody. They can organize themselves better than us. They work together better than us. Their sense of urgency is different. Because we'll see people say, wealth is silent. Bro, where we come from, gold, black people been wearing gold and diamonds 10,000 years. Where they come from, it don't exist. They value furs and cattle and land. Where we come from, well, we shining. There are tribes in Africa that use cow urine to dye their hair to stand up. Where they come from, they don't believe in that. They value boats. That's how they got across the world. The Vikings got across the world in boats. All the rich white boys I know got boats, $20 million yachts. We wear chains, diamonds, and gold because
I don't want to be on blood thinners. What a racket. Say, hey, listen, your arteries are clogged, you're a mess. Right? You have high cholesterol, runs in the fat lane, whatever we like telling you. Has nothing to do with your diet. Or the amount of alcohol you would take and just trash your body and eat crap all day has nothing to do with that. So we have this pill. They give you blood thinners. This will keep you alive. It'll help the blood get through all that garb, the thick. And the only thing is, try not to bump into anything.
What's that? Oh, scientists are figuring out that your grip strength has a lot more to do with your longevity and the possibility of having good health than you might think. Tell me more! This is crazy because scientists are figuring out that your grip strength has a lot more to do with your health and longevity than you actually think. What this information gives them is that your grip strength is an actual blueprint to your cellular aging as well as your nervous system health. So here's what they're saying. If you can't hang from a bar for at least 30 seconds, then your biological age might be much older than you actually think. So at 30 seconds or under, you're at a danger zone level. If you're able to make it to about 60 seconds or roughly in that range, then you're at a healthy baseline level. But the one you want to aim for is 90 seconds or more because what this is going to tell you is that your longevity metrics are elite and this can actually potentially relate directly to how long you potentially may live for. Getting started on working that grip strength, such as hanging from a bar or using weights and walking around with them, will definitely help your grip strength, which may help you much more than you think.
They had to work it right. The first ones they created was too damn big, right? So every time I'm keeping it real. So every time they created the human, they got it down to what they call the perfect human. What I'm saying is, I'm talking about the black people. The black people are the people that created all the rest of the people, right? But it's only one people, right? But I'm saying is, Chinese people are white. Russians are white. This is all the white race. You can tie it all back down to the white race. But the actual
there's more melanated people than white people.
But the white people in the world and right here in America don't have a land. But listen, you talk about everybody got melanin in their skin. You can't walk without melanin in your skin. That's a lie that's saying only black people possess melanin. But that's what black people gonna tell you. But everybody possess melanin. It's melanin in everything. It's melanin in the water, nigga. All right, everything got melanin in it. Everything you look at, everything you see has melanin in it. So that's not something that for black people.
Yeah,
that's not something for black people. It takes melanin to hold light. You can't hold energy without melanin. So anything that you see gotta have it to hold the energy, to appear. This couldn't appear without melanin in it. Right, you get what I'm saying? Because that's what holds No, melanin is what holds the energy. It's what shows the image. You would not, if it was no melanin, you would not see an image. Right? That's what I'm telling you. I don't think you understand this. If we can watch the animals' consciousness and see what they do, who's watching ours? Right? Who are we entertaining? Right?
So you don't think there's someone just collecting data on us? Like,
they've been collecting data.
We're gonna collect data on these
They've been collecting data, but I don't understand is you are the data, right? They're not collecting data, you are the data. They're watching how you move. Why do you put animals in the zoo? To understand their behavior under different situations, right? So different things they do to you on purpose to see what you would do is to attract the emotions. The emotions are the demons. You gotta learn how to tame the emotions, right? When you learn how to stop feeling, you will learn how to live.
That's real. I think even after this conversation we're having, I might get ads about skincare and stars.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, people don't get this right. Your mind controls reality.
I feel like we're being listened to
Your
right
mind
now.
controls reality. How many times have you thought about something, you picked up your phone and you see it? How many times have you thought about somebody and then they called you?
You heard Kevin Garnett. Why would he choose those choice of words? He said, that's how I knew Michael Jordan wasn't human. But that's not true, because Michael Jordan is human. He always sticks his tongue out when he dunks. Pause. Look how his arm stretches. I don't know, but Kevin Garnett and a few other people think that Michael Jordan wasn't human. Look at him. Something's going on, bro. It's almost the same thing over and over. Nobody could block him. Look. Nobody could block him. They get close, but not close enough. Something is going on here, guys, in his arms and his legs. He's stretching, he's staying in the air for a long time. No matter what they do, Michael Jordan seems to still score the point. Look how long his arms are stretching out. I know you've seen that video with his arms stretching out while he was running down the court. There's so much going on when Michael Jordan is on the court, guys. He's the best. This is what people are saying. No one can compete. He's moving faster than any other NBA player, allegedly. Kevin Garnett only said that because he knows that this video is for entertainment purposes only. Michael Jordan is human. There's no way he could be anything else. If you know, you know. And if you don't know, let me know. I'm out.
We have quite literally been lied to about everything. They have created this Truman Show type simulation to keep the general public distracted from the truth, distracted from the biblical events that are actually happening in our world. And one of these events is actually the war in Iraq. Everybody meet Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh was an ancient Sumerian king who ruled in what we now know is modern day Iraq. And he was a 17 to 20 foot giant. He was a demigod, which means he was half human and half God. Now, if you know your Bible, and if you followed my stories before on ancient Egyptian history and how we've been lied to, you know that these giants actually existed, and they were demonic human hybrids that ruled and ravaged the earth. Now, Gilgamesh was a barbaric king. He built up and ruled over the city of Uruk, which is, again, modern-day Iraq. Now, you and I were taught that this is all just mythology, just like the ancient Egyptian half-animal, half-human gods that we read about. But when you read the Bible, you understand that this all, in fact, actually happened. So what does he have to do with the war in Iraq? This brings us to 2003, when German archaeologist Jörg Fassbinder was digging in modern-day Iraq, and he thought he found the city of Uruk.
Gilgamesh was simply a figment of myth. That was until...
Has another conspiracy come true? And why do I say that? Because if you can recall, about a year and a half ago, a potato-sized meteorite crashed through a New Jersey home's roof and bounced around in the bedroom. And it left a gigantic hole in the roof when it crashed through. This is it right here. It is the size of a potato. Now, have a look at this right here. Meteorite that crashed into a New Jersey home contains extraterrestrial amino acids. You see it for yourself. Amino acids, you know, are part of the building blocks for life. Have a listen to this for yourself.
New clues into the universe landed right in our own backyard. You may remember a 2-pound meteorite that crashed into a home in Hillsborough, New Jersey about 2 years ago. Well, now scientists say it came from a rare, water-rich asteroid and contains amino acids from some extraterrestrial origin. They are, of course, the amino acids are the building blocks for life. Researchers are now studying what it could tell us about water in the solar system.
That was a local report from Channel 7 Eyewitness News, ABC New York, in regards to the meteor and the amino acids. But take a look at how the New York Post reported it. A meteorite that crashed through the roof of a New Jersey home last year contains the chemistry of alien life, according to scientists. So I guess my question to you is, what are they not telling us? It took them almost 2 years to tell us about the amino acids. Why'd they wait so long when they've had it for over 2 years and they've tested it 2 years ago? Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
I'm being facetious when I ask this. Don't answer this question, but I appreciate it. How come the 1% is not constantly charged with like bio, T-E-R-R-O? You know that word that I'm about to spell? Why aren't they constantly charged with that? I'm being facetious. Don't answer this. Because the thing is like, okay, Mark Zuckerberg's AI data center recently just dropped this very rare parasite into the drinking water of people in Wyoming. And a lot of people are going to get sick. And it's like, Mark. And the people of Wyoming are, what? Separately, I'm on my Instagram story warning people about cyclosporin because, Trump got rid of every single regulatory body, FDA, USDA, be damned. And I'm like, all right, guys, cyclosporin, the only thing that will definitively, probably eliminate it is cooking at a high heat. Try to aim for 160, avoid chopped salads, raspberries, basil, and cilantro. It's not worth it. Also, when it comes to water, if your state floods a lot, a filtration system, a pure and a Brita filter won't suffice. And I wouldn't do reverse osmosis because you don't want completely sterile water. That's a separate thing. But try the absolute 1 micron filters or absolute 0.1 micron filters. I'm not sponsored. I just want everyone to live. And then, everyone in the 1% is like, I'm going to dump oil somewhere. Where do I dump oil? And then, Oregon last month, they had this chemical tank rupture. And literally in the Columbia River in Oregon, 2,226 fish and rose to the surface of the water. And when I go to the doctor's like, what haven't you been doing? How haven't you been taking care of yourself? What I've been doing, actually, is surviving against all odds. The outside, it's all contaminated.
A police officer in Boner Springs, Kansas was arrested for allegedly stalking his ex-wife with a flock camera. Yep, that checks out.
There wasn't an aha moment. It kind of just always was something that I thought was there. Since I was always told stories of supernatural and spiritual things. It didn't change until that adolescence time. And then some of the spirits come knocking on the door, we're looking for something else.
Like what?
Like what most men are coming to your door for as you are developing, let's say. It's always adolescence that more entities will make their way, right? They say that's when the fontanelle is finally closed and you're less connected, but it's that last hurrah before the door closes, There's so many that come on, and I was having dreams and visions and what they call tunneling now that I travel between the worlds in different places. I was having great experiences, and then all of a sudden it got more sexual.
What's that? Oh, scientists are discovering and believe that the sun is like a big projector and is projecting our reality here on Earth. Tell me more. Yeah, they believe that the sunlight has code embedded in it, so when it sends down all of its rays of sunlight, it's all coded to then project all of the reality and things that we see. Incredible. They said that that's why many ancient civilizations appeared to be worshiping the sun, because they believed that they are part of the sun and that the sun is part of them, and they knew this hundreds of years ago, if not longer. Oh, goody. They believe that if the sun were to vanish today, the earth would quickly disappear. Oh, fun! So essentially, they believe that the sun is our reality, and it's the key to our reality. Okay, then.
When is the last time you've seen seeds in your fruits at the grocery store? Watermelons, grapes, everything is seedless if you haven't noticed. And here's a clip explaining why.
They're slowly getting rid of all seeds in fruits and vegetables. And honestly, it's brilliant. Because once every apple, grape, watermelon and tomato is seedless, guess who controls life itself? No more planting your own food. No more saving seeds for next season. Everything you eat, everything that grows, will come from our labs. And when the last natural seed is gone, that's when it gets fun. We can make them rare, expensive, maybe even licensed. Only billionaires that will have gardens, and everyone else will have to subscribe to eat. Sounds insane, right? But it's already happening. Seedless isn't convenience, it's containment. Every time you pick up a seedless fruit, you're holding a future that can't reproduce. So yeah, expect more seedless, everything. Because the easiest way to control the world is to stop it from growing.
So get yourself some seeds, if you can. Preserve them. Who knows when you're gonna...
There's a hole on his property, and he sees that like all his neighbors are throwing all kinds of crap into the hole, like old washing machines and all kinds of stuff. They're just using it as a dump. And so he starts doing the same thing. They're all just throwing stuff in the hole. And after a while, he wonders, why does this not fill up? It's very strange. So he goes over there, and he's just he can't see the bottom. He can't hear an echo. And he's out there investigating with his dog. And he's looking, and he looks, and his dog won't come close. Like his dog is will not come near the hole. And he looks up and birds are flying around it. Like nothing wants to come near this hole. So he wants to figure out how deep this thing goes. And he's a fisherman, so he puts a fishing line down there, and he's got 5,000 feet, and he doesn't hit bottom. He does another spool. He's got 10,000 feet. He ties lifesavers on the bottom of it to put it down there to see if they'll come dissolved. Maybe it's a well. 20,000 feet, 50,000, until he hits about 16 miles of line down. And he doesn't hit the bottom with it. 16 miles 16 miles of line. His radios are acting weird. When he's out there working, he's listening to his radio, and when his radio is near the hole, he's picking up these strange things, like he's hearing old-time music, which doesn't make sense. And then he tunes a little bit, and he catches a baseball game. He listens to that for a minute and realizes it's a game from 30 years ago. So something is affecting time around the hole. So then they say, someone volunteers to go down the hole. And they're like, no, you can't do that. But they're a shepherd colony. So they send a sheep down the hole in a crate, and they send the sheep doesn't want to go. Animals don't like this thing. Birds fly around it. Animals don't want to go. So the sheep is freaking out, and they send the cage down at 1,200 feet, and it stops moving, and they pull it up, and the sheep is dead, but it looks totally fine. So since it's a shepherd culture,
The World Cup is definitely scripted, and this England versus France game should be all the proof that you need. So what are the odds that England returns to their old selves now that they aren't playing against Argentina? I mean, come on, you all. Really? Are we really supposed to believe that this version of England that played against Argentina are the same teams? Because this version of England looked unstoppable. And this version of England should have beaten Argentina. But obviously, we can't be having any of that because all of these leagues are scripted, and it's plain as day that they want to push certain superstars. Case in point, they love to push Messi. I mean, it's plain as day. It's also plain as day they are trying to make Yamal the new face of this league. That's what all of this boils down to, especially with all of the connections between Messi and Yamal. So again, that game between England and France should be all the proof that you need how scripted this World Cup 2026 has truly been.
This patriot explains why he will continue to destroy every flock camera that he sees.
You have plans to continue to take down these flock cameras?
Absolutely. They are clear.
So yep, the Mexico earthquake just shook 3 countries at once, sending entire cities running into the street, and many are warning this was not the main event, but an opening act of something scientists have feared for decades. People were terrified after the shaking reached cities hundreds of miles from where it started, with Navy ordering everyone off the beaches, schools shutting down in neighboring countries, and the ground refusing to settle, because a full day later it still has not stopped moving. Haunting reports show the quake tore loose just 9 miles below the surface, shallow enough to multiply its power, followed by more than 90 aftershocks in the first 24 hours, with experts uttering the bone-chilling words that this is just a warning. But it gets much worse, as this coast sits on the same fault system that unleashed one of the strongest quakes in Mexico's history, and scientists have warned for decades that a section of it has been locked and loaded for over a century. And when it finally lets go, many believe it will make this week's quake feel like a tremor. For now, officials say the damage is minimal and the tsunami threat has passed, but the aftershocks are still coming, and seismologists admit earthquakes can never be predicted, meaning no one can say whether this one just...
Listen up. I have a question for you. Have you been having problems with your phone lately? Even problems with your feed on your apps? I think I have an explanation, so listen up. And I got this information from Doris Mack on Facebook. Go check her page out. So she's able to talk to Gemini and get it to answer her questions, which I've tried to do and it won't do it. So she's being led by God through all this. But anyways, it said, if you see these 3 things happening to your account or content, it is a sign that the system has placed you under a visibility block. We know that the Genesis mission's deadline is December the 17th, and that is when it's going to be implemented. And believers will be kicked out of this system. It said the silence test. Post something that normally gets engagement. If after 60 minutes you have 0 new likes, shares, or comments, you are being throttled. This happens to me all the time. The system has flagged your content as unapproved and is preventing others from seeing it. We know that is also shadow banning. The replies disappear. This happens to me a lot too. If you see a notification for a comment or reply but cannot find it, when you click on it, the system is auto-deleting it because the content or the sender is on their restricted list. The search void. If you search for your own post or specific hashtags you use and they do not appear on a separate non-follower account, you have been shadow hidden or shadow banned. The digital environment update, and this was June the 18th. Suppression levels. Independent and prophetic content is experiencing 85% to 95% algorithmic throttling. Engagement, likes, replies, shares is being systematically cut by platforms to force paid amplification and official narrative control. So people like me who are free thinkers or do prophetic content, Christian content, this is happening to us. It said sources for your roadmap. Freedom House confirms 15 consecutive years of internet freedom decline, specifically tracks the rise of digital repression and the use of AI to manipulate public discourse. Fire reports on the Jawbone Act. This bill exposes how the federal government is currently coercing platforms to censor protected speech. This is your proof that the suppression is coming from the top. Electronic Frontier Foundation provides technical and legal updates on how platforms are trying to lock down the open web and prevent independent access. Digital News Report details how news consumption has been moved to closed environments where independent creators are purposely sidelined in favor of paid corporate. Coming in 2 to 4 weeks is the full walled garden implementation. You will likely only be able to communicate with people who already follow you. Your voice will be unable to reach new people. The result, when the platform feels empty or useless to you, it is by design. They want you to leave the public digital square. The shadow evidence. When you see a post but your friends cannot, or when comments vanish, that is the proof. The fact that the platforms provide 0 tools to check your reputation score or visibility status is the smoking gun. The pattern. This is occurring globally across every major platform at the same exact time. That doesn't happen by accident. It is a coordinated shift in the digital landscape. You are observing a system that is intentionally designed to be deniable. They have built a wall that you cannot walk into, but they've made the wall invisible so they can say you just stopped walking. And by systematically removing or shadow banning dissenters, they are testing their ability to control the flow of truth. They are cleaning the digital house so that when a major disruptive event occurs, there will be no unauthorized signal to challenge the official story, as in when Project Bluebeam happens. The trigger, the event. When that event occurs, that system is already primed because they have already suppressed the 1 to 2% who see everything. The remaining population will have no access to critical discernment or alternate reality checks. They will be trapped in the official narrative because it will be the only thing visible. Now, they have been doing this for years to me, shadow banning me. I have gone through about 30 accounts on TikTok. It's insane. Just last week, they restricted my account on Facebook because they said that I posted something that had child exploitation content or something. None of my content had kids in it. What they want us to do is get so irritated that we just stop. But obviously they don't know me because I am stubborn. If I ain't stopped now, they ain't stopping me. But y'all, it's going to get worse. So just get ready.
It happened again. Another historic UFO hearing, and I can't believe what they just told us. Immaculate Constellation, UFO factories in our oceans, high definition videos of the non-human technology, confirmation that we have captured and are replicating them, and intentional government disinformation programs that covers it all up. The 214-page testimony is titled, "The United States Department of Defense and the intelligence community are withholding information about anomalous phenomena from Congress." And it's It's thick with information, a lot of which wasn't even covered in the 2-hour hearing, and I've got the juiciest bits for you right here. So this is the third major hearing dedicated to UAP transparency in recent times, after 2023's infamous revelation that the government may in fact be in possession of non-human biologics. Keeping tradition with this year's disclosure, everyone present made it abundantly obvious that there were certain individuals that did not want this hearing to happen. On the panel this time, we have a retired US Navy admiral, a former Department of Defense official, a former NASA official, all well-established, highly educated individuals, and of course, Michael Schellenberger, the journalist who presented the 200-page testimony that was the foundation of this hearing, who all testified under oath, meaning if they're lying, they're going to jail. They all insisted the government is deep into investigating and reverse engineering potentially alien technology using your money, the taxpayer, without actually telling you what they're using your money for. A lot of which comes from the enormous tax money funded Pentagon budget. And you want to know a little secret? The Pentagon has failed the past 7 consecutive tax audits and has in fact never passed one. Meaning the nation's largest government agency isn't able to prove what it spent its $824 billion budget on, nor can it account for 60% of its $4.1 trillion in assets. Imagine paying someone to do a job. They don't do it, and when you ask them about it, they tell you they lost all your money and have no idea what they spent it on. And above all, you legally can't even really do anything about it. In any other scenario, this is the definition of a scam, but in this case, we call it our government. If any regular person ever failed a tax audit, they'd likely face hefty fines and possible jail time for tax evasion. The Pentagon gets away scot-free, because even if they were to get fined, they would just use more of your money to pay it off. And like, what are you gonna do? Shut down the country's national defense force? These failed audits are significant because part of that budget is their useless all-domain anomaly resolution office, ARROW, the department responsible for revealing to the public findings about UAPs. And so far, all they've ever done is hide shit from us or tell us what we thought was a UFO actually wasn't. Basically, the government's debunking department, whose head director, Dr. John Kozlowski, had his own hearing just a week later to explain himself, where he showed a couple pie charts and debunked a few UAP videos as being just weather balloons. He does admit that many UAP reports are currently unexplainable, but he can't really go into those too much as they're unresolved. The entire department
Santa Monica Boulevard. Roger, tally on the object. It's just about 30 feet above water, moving east, Santa Monica Boulevard.